Hi, I'm Alan Swain. I head up technology and operations here at Wavefront in Vancouver. Wavefront is Canada's Centre of Excellence for wireless commercialization, and we're going to go on a tour of our facility here, give you a little bit better idea what Wavefront's all about. We are in the business of accelerating commercialization in the wireless sector, and we started here probably about 3.5 years ago in this facility with half the floor. We expanded to a full floor. And at this point, we now have this floor and half floor on the 9th floor. We're on the 14th floor right now. So we got about 20,000 square feet in the facility, and we're currently housing about 30 different companies. When we started in this business, we went out into the ecosystem to figure out what would help them best get their products and services to market. So we do a number of things, from business advisory services, international market linkages. We work with DFATE on international missions to take companies abroad and introduce them to carriers and other large enterprises interested in Canadian innovation. So let's start on the tour, and you just follow me this way into the Acceleration Center. So first up, we have George Mobile. They're a top of the stack application. They started with about 400,000 friends and family money, so they're primarily bootstrapped. They're in the process of doing a $1 million raise, and their application runs on top of the stack, SIP providing SIP calls, SMS, and video calls peer-to-peer from devices around the world. They've currently got about 12,000 customers, and they're making money. Here we have the Alacrity Foundation set of companies. They're largely located in this area here. They're part of the Wesley Clover group of companies. They're more early stage. This company is Cloudburst. They're doing another top-of-the-stack type application. It's involving taking a number of photos that consumers will take and stitching them together. And they launched this application before a similar app was available in the iStore. And interestingly enough, since the free version of this app is available, not by Cloudburst, they're still getting downloads, and they're still making traction in their movement into the market. And that's interesting, and it illustrates that there's some differentiations that they have that the market is still very much appreciating. Over here we have a company called eBrisk. They're a group of serial entrepreneurs. They've done this more than once. They're working on the H.265 video standard. So that's the standard that will bring high-def video streaming capability to LTE type technologies. The standard has recently been ratified. eBrisk has had a few submissions that were accepted into that standard, and they're now working on building both the encoding and decoding engines so that people, carriers and other enterprises will be able to send high-def video through LTE technologies. Here we have our device library. We call it a device library now because we got more than just handsets in here. We got tablets and some machine-to-machine devices. In here we have about 600 devices right now, and we have similar libraries in Montreal, Ottawa, Waterloo, and Toronto. To give you an example of how this is used, we rent devices here to the community to do for application developers to do testing on different devices. And to give you an example of the popularity of it, last fiscal year we had about 1,400 day rentals of devices, and that alone saved the developer community in excess of $600,000. So a very popular service that we offer. Here we have the BlackBerry Innovation Center, the BlackBerry Tech Center, recently launched with the BlackBerry 10. So in this center, there are representatives from BlackBerry that come in here on a regular basis. Developers can book access in and consult with those particular individuals. And this is all about exposing the developer community all the tools that you need to build applications for the BlackBerry 10 line of devices, their tablets, their handsets, in all the different forms, and everything that you would need to port your applications from different environments over into the BlackBerry environment. This area here previously was our innovation or BCIC Innovation at Wavefront Center, and we had about 30 companies that would compete for access to the space if you were successful. We had, out of the 30 that competed last time we had a cohort run through, we had 12 that were successful. Of those companies that were successful, you get access in the space for a year for free and about $10,000 worth of our services. Since then, that program has since evolved into the Venture Accelerator program that's administered by BCIC. Wavefront is one of the nodes, so we're running a Venture Accelerator network for the wireless sector here now. And in that program, companies come in, it's a little bit more formal and structured. There are EIRs, so entrepreneurs in residence, that are assigned to a collection of companies, and they provide a structured series of guidance and advice to get those companies evaluating their products, getting the market ready, go through the minimum viable product exercises and get them to market. So another interesting part of Wavefront is our Orange Developer Center. So working in cooperation with Orange, we've set up a developer center here. You can book into this center. There's a few centers around the world. We're actually running under a special license from Industry Canada, European Configured Spectrum. You'll notice up in the corner here, we have an antenna, and that one is connected to a node B, a 2G and a 3G node B, that is linked from here via T1 into New York and then across the pond into Bristol, England. So we maintain a fleet of Orange devices here. People, developers from around the country can come in, book into the center and get a device and test their application as though they're in London, England. And that's a free service that we offer. Another interesting company over here is Reward Loop. And Reward Loop has been in the center here for a while now, and a couple of entrepreneurs, they started out, they weren't sure if they were going to go back into industry and get real jobs or start a company, but with some guidance from Wavefront and a little bit of a safe landing, they decided to set up a company. They've since cut a deal with Epson, such that all Epson printers shipping on POS terminals now worldwide include Reward Loop software. They've just completed a $1 million round of financing, and they've got traction. They're making money. Another interesting company over here is called, let's start with Reflex in the corner. So they've got a variety of devices that are posted here, and you can see they've got this is a blood oximeter, pulse measuring device. It has Bluetooth, low energy Bluetooth connectivity into a hub. There's weigh scale type devices for measuring the weights of your food, the weights of people. This particular one over here is an on-body sensor. So this is helping people deal with improving the way healthcare is delivered in the marketplace throughout North America. So let's move on this way outside the center into our usability lab. So here we've got a couple of meeting rooms that are set up that, in addition to being meeting rooms, also serve as our usability lab. And no one's here right now, so we just step in, but you can see that we've got cameras in the corners, and we've got a what's called an Elmo, which is a device over there. You can see that sitting on the shelf. And what we'll do here is pull in usability experts from around the Lower Mainland to help companies go through usability studies on their applications. A camera will be looking at the device, and another camera will be looking at the face of the person doing the study. And both those images are picked up and streamed to the observation room, which is over here. And here we'll have the developers watching what's going on, both video streams screened to the display, and you can see when someone's walking through the application, when they get stuck or frustrated. People might not say something, but they sure can't hide it in their face. Now we're going to move into our Rogers Wireless Innovation Center at Wavefront. This is under a collaboration agreement between Wavefront and Rogers, so let me just take you in here and we'll show you what this one's about. We got a little bit of work going on, so excuse the ladder. It's not normally here. So this center is used by Rogers a number of different ways. What we have are a number of solutions that are on display from Rogers Solutions Partners, and you'll see there on the display just a collection of the different solution providers that they have. And these are largely machine-to-machine solutions. So Rogers will bring in CIOs from industry and wow them as to all that can be done with wireless to improve productivity, and then sit down and have discussions about how Rogers can help those firms improve their productivity by adopting wireless technologies. Or there may be a company that's interested in a particular point solution, and they'll bring in the solutions provider and do a deep dive on that particular particular solution. So just some examples. We got some in the market type stuff here. So this particular screen is a digital sign from ENS Technologies. They're based in Victoria. There are some wireless point of sale solutions. This particular cabinet features a product that's by Colony Networks, who are also in our facility on the 9th floor, and they've built a critical network access solution. So for your routers that normally would provide backhaul via fiber, should that fiber fail, usually it's a backhoe fade or the like, these routers can now fail over to LTE and keep your operation up and running. Here we have a collection of lone worker solutions. So these became popular with the lone worker legislation that was brought in. Companies are obligated to protect their people that are out in the field working alone. So there's a number of different firms that are providing solutions in that space. Now we're going to step into our server room. So on the back wall there, you'll see our two base stations. That's a 3G and a 2G node B, they're called. They're cellular base stations. So those are the ones that are connected into Orange, and that's what allows us to broadcast European spectrum here in our facility. On the top shelf over there, I've got a switchable attenuator. That allows me to vary the signals between the 2G and the 3G side, so I can force a simulated roam of a device from a 2G cell to a 3G cell in and out of service. Then we have a number of our own servers here. In this rack, you can see we've got a number of large servers. This is where we'll spin up various virtual machines. A number of our companies are running virtual machines for a variety of things, and we help them with those sorts of services. We run our own Asterisk PBX. What's really interesting, though, is our relationship with Perfecto Mobile. And this is some of their equipment. You'll see on this rack here, there's actual handsets sitting in there. Above the handsets, there is a camera that's looking down at the display and picking up that image. This service is operated by Perfecto. They're an Israeli company that we've partnered with. The public cloud version of this is offered in Israel, France, UK, India, Spain, Canada through this site in Wavefront, and the US. The way it works is developers from around the world can go onto their account, open their browser, select what country they want to test their application in, what carrier they want to test on, what handset they want to test on, and download their application over the air or via the system into the phone. What they see is a real image of their application running on a real phone in that country. A recent adaptation that was done was the introduction of tablet testing capability. So here you'll see a tablet docking module. This is a fairly new introduction, where in addition to handsets, there's actually a tablet mounted on the device and then a camera on the far side that picks up the image of that tablet. So again, you can be testing your applications on tablets that are wirelessly connected. And I noticed we got Joe sitting here. This wasn't staged. He happens to be sitting here doing some real testing for a company called Tutela. So this is an example of, we have a power monitoring piece of equipment. It monitors the power that's being consumed by a handset, and you can see on Joe's display here that we're monitoring the current and voltage. So what we'll do is go through a number of test scenarios with and without a client's application operating on the handset and produce a report that shows the power profile impact of that application running on a handset. So here we've got a number of test equipments, typically the kind of stuff that smaller companies can't afford to buy. We've got a number of call boxes. So here, for example, we've got a CDMA 800, 1800, typically called the PCS band call box, and that one runs WCDMA, GSM, and CDMA 2000. And then we've got a Anritsu MD8470A. So for example, this particular piece of gear is worth about $130,000. If you need it, you really need it. And we'll rent it out for about $500 a week, so it's very cost effective. So this is the type of thing we do to help companies move along. We're also running our machine-to-machine accelerator program now. This is in collaboration with both Rogers, Sierra Wireless, and Deutsche Telekom. And through that program, you can get access to hardware from various hardware manufacturers, including Sierra, access to Rogers SIMs. Also through Rogers, we get access to the Rogers Control Center, which is really the Jasper Control Center. So we expose developers to all that can be done for SIM management. Through Sierra Wireless, we have access to AirVantage, so you get exposure to what you can do to manage your device beyond the SIM. And that includes things like not only updating the firmware that might be in the module, but also updating the firmware that might be in your platform. And that's pretty much all we have here at Wavefront. I hope you've enjoyed the tour.